Hi Bill, I don't know why, but my first recording of this ended up stopping right when I got towards the end and did not save. So I'm going to try this again and go a little bit faster because maybe Loom has a time limit. So here's the Spencer Carley Handlebar Labs course with the weather app. That's all complete, as you can see there. I'm going to minus this out really quickly. And I'm going to start with the weather API. So here's the API key. This is where we're pretty much getting the path to the API, the zip code and the coordinates, which is the latitude and longitude. We have a blank suffix to start. The zip code is part of the suffix, and then the coordinates are also part of the suffix, which is pretty much the pathing to get the location on the API. And then we have our response in JSON. Now I'm going to go to the search, go back to the top. Here's all of our imports. We're starting off with a state with an empty query and an empty recent search. I was funny in the last video, I promise, but because I do have a time limit, because I have the free version of this, it cuts out. But this is going to get our recent search, whatever we search up in the search bar, and then it'll set the state to that recent search. And then pretty much this is going to be returning the recent in a flat list, and on top of that, showing the, when you press on any of these, it'll show the latitude and longitude of that, or put it into the API, so that way we can fetch the data. As you can see, I just clicked on Rancho Cucamonga, and Rancho Cucamonga popped up with all of its data. And go back here, it is not duplicated and it's on there. However, sometimes it does duplicate it, or if I click on it, it'll go to a neighboring city, and that is one of the bugs that we could possibly fix for our upgrades. So anyway, to continue, yeah, this is pretty much the top search bar, and the get weather function. It has that zip code there in gray, so that we can know to type in the zip code. There's the text and all that stuff, and then our recent text there. Oh, excuse me. Then here's our recent search function. This is using async storage. This is the key to the async storage, so that way we can get the correct storage that we're storing. Yeah, so we pass in that key there, and then we're also getting these parse string JSON information in order to get the city names of, or the city IDs of those zip codes. And then we have our add recent search, which we will go through the old history and make sure that we don't have any of the old existing items in there. And then if it's a new, or after we do that, it'll be added, and then we have the new history, which is including the new item that we are adding in, plus the old history. And then we are returning that from the async storage, our new history, as strings, as you can see here. They are strings, and then we're going to go to our details. I'm trying to go really fast. I'm sorry if I'm typing fast. I'm also sorry if it's really small. Here's all the imports that we're importing from all the components, utils, and then also the dependencies that are used in this. So first we're going to get our group by forecast data. So I'm going to click on Azusa here. It went actually to Citrus, so that's the bug that I was telling you about. Maybe I need to type in 91702 again. Let's go here. Click on that. It still wants to go to Citrus, so I'm going to go to 91704. Citrus, college. Alright, anyway. So you can see the 5-day forecast below here, and this has the maximum and minimum based off of every 3 hours for the entire day, which is what this conditional statement is, as it's listing every single item that is in each day's string object or JSON object to get all that data. And then if it's higher than the previous one, it'll set that as the new max temp for the day. The same thing for the lower. This is how we're formatting the list here with the maps and keys. And then this is our initial state. We have everything null, loading the forecast and loading current data to true. In our component in mount, we're getting permission. When you first start up the app, if you haven't already, I already allowed it access to permission on both my phone and my Android emulator here. Just so that way it can grant access to your current location. It also has an error handling if you type in an incorrect zip code. So I'm going to type in a bunch of random numbers to try to get the weather. And it'll say no location data found, because that's part of the error handling that we have a little bit later, not specifically in this area. But yeah, so this is pretty much allowing you access to that location. This is our error handling that I just showed you there. And then this is pretty much data that gives us our old latitude and our current latitude, the new one that we put in, and pretty much gets the forecast for that based off of the zip code and the current weather. Our get current weather will show that an error 404 and show the handle error if it's not able to be found. If it's not that error, then it'll show the current weather, as you can see here, with the icon changing depending on where in the world it is. And then it'll also add all that data from the JSON, parse JSON from the API to our add recent search and within error handling. Then we also have the get forecast, which is getting the forecast portion of the weather API. Has the same kind of error handling here. It doesn't actually return like a thing, but this is pretty much getting all the forecast information for the future. And then we are rendering all that into the basic rows that we have here to make the styling look nice and smooth as you go on and so forth. We also round everything down because it actually had decimal point like 68.0 something. It'll round it so that way to the nearest whole number, because who really cares about the point, whatever. And then we have our index.js. Scroll here to the top. This is where we're getting our touchable opacities for the upper right hand corner here, so that way we could get to the screen page. And then we have our create navigation, which is part of that as well, where we are able to navigate through the different screens and have the different header and all that good stuff. As you can see, this is the color of the header and background with our tint color as well. And then vice versa to the search, how we have this as all dark content for our bar style. It has our closeout image that's getting imported from our components or assets. And yeah, we also have this React fragment because we are returning 2 different tags, and if you return 2 different tags, it's not going to work. By adding this React fragment, it allows it to pretty much technically be 1 tag when it's being returned. So yeah, that's pretty much the app. I'm just going to go through it one more time on the emulator here so that we can see. As you can see right now, I have it in upland with the high-low humidity with the date handling here for all of that. I'm going to search for 91702, which is Azusa/Citrus apparently. So there, it's actually showing the Azusa one now. I mean, not that it's going to make a difference if I hit Citrus. Now Citrus is showing Azusa. Again, this is part of the error handling. I know that he even said that it might show some neighboring cities and whatnot. But as you can see, as I click those different ones on recents, it'll also pull that data. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry if it's too long. I know I had to talk pretty fast. Sorry if it's a little blurry too, because I am running my computer in 4K definition. I didn't realize that might be a thing. But yeah, hope you enjoy the video. Bye-bye.